Oh, hey guys, what's up? I'm here bringing you another episode of Sam Scoops, and this week we're bringing you an investigative story from a print paper. So it's been a while since I've dropped one of these. I've been traveling and everything, but wanted to start getting back into the swing of the things. And so a few weeks ago, when I was traveling down in Charleston for a conference, I came across a newspaper, and what we love to see is an investigative story right on the front cover. And so what this story is about, it's called This Is Their Playbook, and it's an investigation with USA Today, the Arizona Republic, and the Center for Public Integrity. So breaking it down, it's really about lobbying efforts to prevent laws that would help children of child abuse. And those lobbyers are the Catholic Church and the Boy Scouts. So this 2-year investigation went in depth about what those efforts were, how much money was spent. And so explaining a little bit to you, some states have different statute of limitations of when a case can get filed. So if you were abused as a child, but then, it sometimes takes time for you to process that. It sometimes takes time for you to want to have justice in terms of a court setting. And so for order for them to get to pursue that, these states were opening up the statute of limitation laws and allowing children who were abused as a child to more time to kind of bring about a case against the institutions and the people who did it to them. And so what this kind of focuses on, California was the first to do a law like this. And within the first year of reopening it, they opened it up for a year. And within that time, more than 800 cases were filed. And so you can see the pushback if Catholic priests and Boy Scout leaders don't want this kind of publicity if just 1 year 800 cases can be filed against them. So what they were doing, this investigation looked into how powerful these institutions were in getting their followers, and for the church, how they were getting their followers to lobby. They specified one lawmaker in Maryland. He introduced one of these types of bills, and the very next day, an email went out to all his former Catholic high school alumni saying he was destroying the school. So they kind of very individually target. The same thing in 2015, Pennsylvania was trying to pass legislation to give more time to sue. And in fact, let me find the numbers here, but I think it's been, since California started, many have tried and not many have failed, or many have failed. And so looking at the cost of this investigation found for the Pennsylvania Catholic Conference, I believe it's called, $615,000 just in 1 year. That's in 2016. The Boy Scouts spent almost $500,000 in just 2 years. So it was an interesting look and an interesting angle of things. We've heard about abuse from the institution of the Boy Scouts and from the Catholic priests, but how is that playing out then as we, grapple with these and as more survivors kind of come out? And this is kind of showing how efforts for lawmakers get thwarted by how powerful these institutions are. So you can read that, obviously not in the hard copy, but I'll put the link to the actual full online investigation. Now, the second one I'm looking into today comes from West Palm Beach. It's a broadcast piece. It's about 6 minutes long, and it's a little gory. So if you're gonna watch it, don't just have just eaten, because it's a little bit visual. This woman goes to Colombia for plastic surgery. So medical tourism is a huge thing. Our station just did a story on it. She wanted to get plastic surgery on her boobs, her butt, a tummy tuck, things like that. And she wasn't dumb about it. She looked into reviews and talked to people who had been going to the surgeon. And this guy is known as, the surgeon of barbies, I believe. He has a huge social media presence. So, she's excited. She's spending all this money to get her dream body finally. So she goes to Colombia. She has the plastic surgery. And 10 days later, she's still in Colombia kind of healing and everything. But she figured out something was seriously wrong because she's starting to get black spots. And later turns out it's necrosis, I believe is how you pronounce it. I've never heard it before, but it's, I guess, the death of body tissues. And it happens when little blood flows into the tissue and it can't be reversed. So she's noticed these things, recovering in Colombia, going to the surgeon, asking, is this okay? Is this normal? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But the reporters on this story show the images of this woman to a doctor here. And he's like, that's not fine. That shouldn't be happening. So the doctor there was denying she was in danger of infection and everything would be fixed in just a few months. Turns out she had an E. coli infection on her chest, so she goes to get her boobs done. And I pulled up the thing here, which if I can bring it up.
It's called The Surgeon of Barbies.
So this is like...
Butcher by the end.
That was the piece that was. So he's called the surgeon of Barbies if you couldn't hear her, but she was calling him a butcher by the end. So she flies back out of the U.S., comes back, and this is where she starts realizing all these things, that this guy actually does not have a license to be a plastic surgeon. But the catch is here, you don't need a license in Colombia to be a plastic surgeon, according to this story. But this guy did have a fake one. Sometimes they go, I guess, to other countries, so he had a fake one from Brazil. It's not needed, though, even though Colombia is a top 10 destination for medical operations. So it's like, how often is this happening? These reporters in the story kind of dug a little deeper on who this surgeon was and found out in 2016 he was arrested in Miami for the death of a patient in Puerto Rico. He was found not guilty. And then there's another death pending, I think, of a patient in Colombia. So social media presences can be deceitful. This one was, so powerful for that woman to speak out and share her experience. She was just in tears, a lot of it, because if you imagine you go for your dream body and you come back and everything's wrong still, and she's recovering, and it looked super painful. But the fact that there's no regulations, and how do we hold this guy accountable if he's in international waters? Or not international waters, he's, in a different country. So this one was very interesting, very visual. Again, if you do watch it, I'll post the link, and just be prepared for some gory images. So that's this week's Sam Scoops. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I didn't babble too much. Till next time.